And we have bottom on view. And actually our first shrimp in the water column. Lots of sediment, as we expected.
So as we're working to acquire the bottom, we are at 6,000 meters, which is the maximum
incredible.
operating depth of the ROV. It is really cool. This is going to be our deepest dive of this particular expedition by a lot.
It is, yeah. And this entire campaign, the voyage to the reach, actually.
Yeah.
This is the deepest dive.
It's likely to be the deepest dive of the field season.
Oh,
Awesome.
Okay.
And so we're just getting situated right now.
Yeah.
And we are in the Puerto Rico Trench. There is a bathymetric high right near us called Main Ridge, and we're just south of it.
We should take.
You can ask, yeah. Pilot.
Pilot, this is watch leader. Whenever we have the opportunity, can we close one of the water bottles, please? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And while the pilots get ready here to collect our first water sample, we're already moving slightly across the seafloor. We've seen actually already a pelagic polychaete, very colorful one, and we're slowly starting to see also some more fauna on the seafloor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And unfortunately, we also found our first
Can.
Evidence of anthropogenic impact here, even at 6,000 meters depth. Oh, and we can see just how soft this sediment really is. Very, very soft. It's still closed. So,
Oh, this side of it is.
yeah, at least. Mm-hmm.
Oh, but look at the rusticles.
Yeah.
Do you see off on the left-hand
that,
side?
yeah.
And so we saw these on the last Voyage Third expedition coming from rocks, not from a can. And I think the consensus idea at that time was that these are microbially mediated. So basically, that's what's causing the long stringy rusticles, is that it's related to
microbial activity.
Yep, exactly. It's still cool, though.
And we can already actually see some ripple marks here on the seafloor, but also some evidence of bioturbation. We see small tracks.
Yeah, it does look like a combination of ripples in the background and then a couple of trace marks.
Again, that's really bright red shrimp. Oh, and I think that was just the side of one of those rocks.
What do you think that is, Joanna?
Not sure what you're looking at.
Just a rock.
Yeah.
So,
and I wonder if actually there's also a little bit of sargassum, as we've seen in some of our previous dives as well.
Oh, all the way
there's
right in the center?
Yeah, they're in the center. Looks like there's something bushy brown there.
You can see that there's a little bit of either consolidated sediment or some kind of, like on the left-hand side, on the right, it's definitely a little bit of rocky outcrop.
Yeah. Let's see if we can have a zoom here on this rock surface.
And so for the scientists in our chat room today and those of you who are following along, we are allowed to take samples today because we are outside the territorial waters of Puerto Rico. But it's going to be hard, actually, because the depth makes it a little more difficult to stop and grab samples. So we're going to have to make some quick decisions.
Yeah. And we just had another one of those polychaetes flowing by.
All right, so we're zooming in.
Yeah, and it does indeed look like sargassum there.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, today there was not nearly as much at the surface. But we can see that it makes all its way down to 6,000 meter depths here. It's actually also very relevant in terms of the trophic food web. Let's make some zoom ins to see.
What are the little white circles to the right?
Yeah. Let's maybe have a zoom in there.
Well, those are tiny.
It looks very small, yeah.
What do you think those could be?
Let's see if we can still zoom further in.
I think this might be it.
Yeah, that might be it. It's difficult to say. It doesn't have like anything very particular about it. I mean, my first guess is always leans towards sponges when I see something somewhat blobby on a rock.
And this rock looks like it has some kind of manganese coating on it, but the original color does look like it's light in color.
Oh. Can we have a zoom in on the top left? There's something white moving there. Yeah. Let's have a quick look there. Ooh, what is this? I wonder if this is some sort of a tanate or maybe some sort of isopod there.
Isopod, isopod from the chat room.
Yeah, it is very...
It has very long arms, though, or tentacles, or that.
Yeah, it looks very unusual.
And the
and
spheres.
That's very long antennae there as well. Really, really long.
So the spheres that were on the right, Ken Sulak, one of our onshore fisheries folks, is saying those could have been fish eggs.
Go ahead, pilot.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Can we zoom in on that white orb that's also coming into view center there? It looks to me like a glass sponge from this distance. Yeah. Let's see what this is. No, it's probably actually an anemone. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It
You
sure
can now
is.
see its
Oh, look at
tentacles.
that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
What is to the bottom right of it, though? Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful. So delicate. And it's sitting on... I wonder if that rock is loose, Deb. Do you think it is?
I'm not entirely even sure that it's a rock as opposed to consolidated sediment, but we could try it if you would like to sample this. I wouldn't mind getting a rock.
And I wouldn't mind getting an anemone.
I think
Yeah,
so.
if we can check if that is loose, then that would actually be the best way.
Yeah. I'm not so sure that rock isn't going to crumble as soon as they try to touch it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's relatively small. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, see if that would, yeah. It's not.
Somewhere downslope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can see it still. Yeah, it really seemed that it was on some sort of rock, but
I think it was just consolidated sediment. So it was like, sediment that had sort of come together and was a little bit cemented, but as soon as we put our hands on it, it just dissolved.
Crumbles. I was just trying to see if there was some sort of base to it. Yeah, but it just really...
Is that it over on the top left next to the stick?
It is, yeah.
Do you want to try to grab it still or get a slurp?
Let's see one more time if we can grab it. I don't know if there is some sort of base there. I'm hoping it would be attached to also another one of those sticks that would make it easier to grab, but I may be wrong. It's also quite small.
It's really small.
Yeah. Sure. Let's see. Yeah, it's very small. Might be very difficult to... Oh. It seems you got it. Yeah. Oh, it just fell down. Oh, we just lost it. That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. It was a good try, pilot. Thank you.
Not a problem. And so one of the things we can see is just how soft that sediment is, and that even when we see traces that look like they might be a harder rock, I'm not so convinced. I think the ones we saw earlier that actually were
possibly again
rocks,
just some consolidated sediment.
No, I think the ones we saw that look like actual rocks were probably rocks, but these lines and traces I'm not sure about.
And we have our first fish and also a sea urchin here.
Awesome.
Well, we ended yesterday our dive with sea urchins, and we'll start our dive today with urchins again.
Definitely what we're seeing a lot of.
Yeah, let's go.
So I think
wonder
that's
if this is one of those snail fishes. Oh, look at that.
does it have like a translucent fin
Yes,
around
it does.
pretty much
It
most of
does
its body?
all around its body, yeah.
Oh, wow. Maybe Ken Sulak, our fish
Yeah.
expert on the chat room today,
Let's take
will
some-
be able to tell us what
Yeah.
we're looking at.
Yeah. Let's have a closer look as well.
Gorgeous. Okay. That's amazing.
Oh, so there it's like some 20 centimeters long.
So the guests are
Ophiid fish.
and several of the scientists in the chat room were mentioning that its gut appeared to be fairly full or fairly rotund. It's distended.
So I'm wondering if that could actually be this, they call a cuskill. Oh, and we have here more of outcrop.
We certainly do. So there's something small and white down to the bottom left.
I'm wondering if it's the same
Anemone?
the same anemone that we just saw.
I would say I think we shouldn't try to collect those unless we find them on what looks like truly a rock.
Or we just try to slurp them up.
That's true.
Yeah.
But look at the layering on that rock.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to avoid the slurping them because, you know, they can become all mixed with the sediment, but that might be actually the only way to collect those.
Pilot, could we zoom in on the rock itself? So the one in the middle looks super platey. It has lots of layers. The ones to either side have a lot more void spaces.
And we see there again on the upper right that there's quite some fair amounts of sargassum still accumulating here.
Wow, that is really cool. And yep, definitely more of the sargassum, right? The texture of this rock is really fine. And we're not necessarily seeing like any fossils in it or anything like that. It's just a fine-grained rock.
Yeah, again, one of those little blobs there. And Ken Sulak here in the chat room was saying that some of those deepest living fishes, which are the snail fishes, they produce small number of large white eggs that are deposited benthically. So these could actually be those fish eggs. we've just
We
we see also
didn't
there
really
are
know
lasers.
how big they were, though, because...
No, we did not have the lasers on. We'll try to. We will turn on the lasers next time we see that.
And so this dive is about 3.5 hours long total. And that's actually what we call an extended dive, where we're getting an extra 2 hours of time on the bottom, because it is so deep that we would have had kind of come down, had an hour and a half, and then had to go straight back.
Oh, and Ken Sulak is commenting here on the chat room that indeed that was a cuskeel, but probably in the blind genus Leucicorus. Saying that those deep black eyes have no lens and no pupil.
Does that mean that they're vestigial, or do they have some other function?
That's a very good question. Apparently they are totally blind, so perhaps they're just, vestigial. And we're seeing here also another small shrimp. Oh, isopod.
What is that? Is that an isopod?
I think it's an isopod.
Is that the same kind of isopod we saw before?
No, it looked different. The one we saw on the rock earlier on.
Yeah. So that we may want to try to collect one of those isopods that we saw earlier if we see one again.
But it might be perhaps easier to
Do
collect them.
They're sitting on the rock?
Yeah, if they're sitting on the rock.
Yep. Just passing that on, that it might be something we might want to collect. So you want to just walk right into the slurp, and then we can have a passive sample? So we can see the ripple marks, but we can also see that they're a little bit disturbed.
Oh, my bad. This was actually an amphipod, not a isopod. Sorry.
So that was an amphipod, but the first thing we saw that had the very long legs was an isopod. Interesting. Is there anything you want to zoom in on, Joanna?
I'm wondering if all of these are mostly rocks sitting on the seafloor. There's something white here in the center that maybe we could have a quick zoom into. Oh, and
or how about the real top dead center right now?
Yeah, it looks like there's some sort of a starfish or a...
Oh, I cannot tell.
There's another anemone.
What was off to the left? Okay, perfect.
Yeah. The other one looks
I'm gonna
very
go
similar. Yeah, it looks similar.
Yeah, but it actually looks more like a rock, this time. Yeah. Yes.
Do you think we should try it?
We'll try it again.
Let's try it again. Yeah. I'm just wondering if the anemone it's not actually attached there to the rock, but it's just more in the sediment.
Yeah.
But we can.
And I'll just note while they're starting to put in place this collection attempt that we were seeing a lot of interesting trace marks just below where we are. And there's a number of what look like burrows, little pock marks in the ground.
Is that also like a little urchin there to the left?
Let's see. So I think if we collect this, Joanna, if we can get it, we're going to call it a biosample. And then the rock will be the associated, except that rock is not coming with us, it looks like.
Looks like one of them may actually be, the anemone may be actually attached to one of those two rocks. So let's see. Oh, it's
not
coming.
a rock. So this is going to be, if we can collect it, a biology sample.
Oh.
And going into one of the 2 port boxes. Looks like it's going into port inner. Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. Brilliant. Thank you, pilot. So we've got our first biological sample and possibly geological sample. We don't know. Let's see when it gets, when we get it on deck.
Excellent.
Let's try to have a look at that echinoderm there as well.
All right, now we're going to go look at that either brittle star or
Yeah.
I think it's a brittle star, but I'm
Let's
not
see
sure.
what it is. Let's get closer. Wow, yeah, it is a brittle star, isn't it?
Go ahead, Nev. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is
Let's
probably
see,
a
a
Brazingid,
Brazingid.
according to Chris. I've only seen them hot pink, like, or,
Yeah.
pink orange. I've never seen one that's white before.
So we're having some zooming in here to get some more of the details of this Brazingid. Okay.
That's a
And
Phragastera.
Phragastera. Great image, thank you. Oh, and I think there are some urchins here also.
To the bottom right.
To the bottom right, there were a few urchins, a little bit purplish, just to the right of the Brazingid star. There, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Ooh, those are little.
Those are probably, what, 2 centimeters, maybe? Mostly buried in the sediment. Actually, I wonder if these may also make some of those trail marks that we've seen some.
That would make sense.
Yeah, those are maybe 2 centimeters. Yeah, and Chris Meyer in the chat room is saying that these, those are portalesids, he thinks. So something similar to Echinocrepsis or Echinocrepis. So super fragile.
All right, what are we looking at? Maybe we should
Yeah,
try to
let's
grab
have
a
a
rock.
Yeah.
Is that a possibility right now, Pilot, or not? Yep. We're going to hope it doesn't crumble in the manipulator claw. Unless we happen to see biology on it, which I have not yet seen.
Oh.
Let's try it. Yep. Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, it's not.
Wow, all of
Look
these
at
are,
that.
look at them. They're just disintegrating when we touch them.
It's just totally dissolved. Look at that. That as well.
Wow.
I wonder if that to the far left there, it's a little bit
Just
darker.
try all the rocks. Try all the rocks.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll take it if you think it's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, and so what the pilot is relaying to us right now, we just touched bottom with a lot of sediment.
Oh,
but what
that.
we were talking about before this happened was that a lot of these samples, or a lot of the ones we're trying to sample, are very, very fragile and friable. So as soon as they put the manipulator claw on them, they kind of dissolve. And the one that we were just looking at that hopefully we might be able to grab is it perhaps was more solid, but at the same time we could see the scars of the manipulator claw touching it.
And we can see just how soft the sediment is, because as soon as you touch it, it just raises this huge cloud, which make it really difficult, of course, for both the pilots and our video team.
Well, us too. I can't see through it.
Yeah. Oh, but there it is.
I'm not sure.
Is it still there?
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at your manipulator arm with all sorts of stuff on it. Okay,
Look
let's
at that, yeah.
Maybe we'll try to find something a little bit more angular next time. I like this shaking it off. All right, we tried. You can really see just how soft the sediment is with, when we were trying to grab rocks, but also when we landed.
Yeah.
And right now they're just trying to clean off the ROV. Oh, but what beautiful ripples. Pilot, this is watch lead. Ooh, what's that? Oh, maybe it's just another rock. We had a valiant effort at collecting a rock. Yep. There's a really angular looking piece to the right. It's kind of coming into view. I have a feeling that rock is probably too big for us. But
So let's see what else we can find to zoom in. There's a bit more rocky area here. Look at this one here to the lower left. I wonder if that would be a good one. Do you think it will also crumble?
I don't know. That's a
It's
really good
always very
question.
difficult to say, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, there goes the fish.
Or this one here to the on the
Bottom right.
bottom right. That looks a bit more angular.
What is the white thing on the rock? The first rock you pointed out.
Yeah, there's
Yep, thank you.
something in there. Yeah. Okay.
I think there is still interest in a sample, yes.
That is. Let's have a.
What is the pink thing off to the left?
I think that's a can again there. Look at that. Yeah. So let's see. Oh my gosh,
God.
they all just crumble.
They're crumbling.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Even that one. No.
Not really.
Let's poke maybe that one.
I
Let's
prefer
see that
us
one.
not to pick up sediment.
Oh, that looks like a.
No.
No, it is not. Yeah.
All right. Well, we may not get rock samples at this part of the dive. It's funny because they look like they should have structure when you zoom in on them.
And they're quite angular.
And they have white spaces, and so you would expect that would be something you could take. But
look at
it
that.
just looks like clay.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
How it looks inside, yeah. Oh, it really is just like clay. Look at that.
Oh, my. Yeah, it is totally compressed clay. That is so interesting. Wow. It is really cool. And so strange. I think this is giving our ROV navigator nightmares of digging post holes in his at his ranch in Texas.
We were hoping that that would be a consolidated or
a
true rock, and then we could have collected it alongside with the Brisingi that was right underneath it.
Oh, is that what was it? A Brisingi?
Yeah, it looked like similar to the one we saw earlier on, even though we didn't see it in great detail.
So George Matsumoto, one of our onshore scientists, said, why does this remind me of deep sea pottery? And I will say that actually is a thing. I know that there are some potters who actually use clays from the ocean to turn into pottery. Probably not this deep, though.
No, probably not. Oh, there's something a bit pinkish here in the center. Can we maybe have a look at what that is?
Where?
Here. It looked
I thought
pinkish.
it was white.
Yeah, it looked pinkish when we looked, but no.
I think we're just looking right
you.
now, and then. Well, we were looking at the white thing, but now it does look like there's two. Are those shrimp, or are they something else? One in the bottom left, one in the top right. I don't know what the white thing is. All right, what? And so we're just waiting here for a moment while the ROV is getting itself sorted. But it's nice because we can still look around. And I don't know if there's anything directly to zoom on right now. Joanna, do you?
I'm not seeing anything. Well, there's these darker areas here on the seafloor. Maybe we could zoom in on one of those to the right. Not really sure what that is.
We heard him.
Okay.
I mean, look at that rock. It looks like it should be
really
something we can pick up and
pick up and bring.
I think it is a shadow.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is.
I'm almost afraid to ask if we can ever sample rocks again.
I mean, we can still try a couple with a couple more.
So we're just looking around here at the seafloor. I think we all expected it to be sedimented, so it's not a surprise. I do think it's a little surprising that we haven't managed to find a rock yet. Is the top right corner white thing a rock, do we think, or do we think it is something different?
Let's have again another zoom if we can.
Boy, this is awesome. So just as a reminder for people who might be joining us right now, we are at 5,954 meters. So, and that is not even the deepest part of the Puerto Rico Trench. It is, however, very close to the maximum operating capabilities of the ROV, which is 6,000 meters. So we're doing a full 6,000 meter dive today. And we're just moving along the seafloor. This is just amazingly cool. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So we're just going to get to look around here. Yeah. Maybe we should zoom in on some of those bright white things to try to figure out what they are.
To figure out what these may be. We've seen a number of these now.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's really difficult to say. There looks just like broken something, but what is that something? Almost looks like a broken tile of some sort. It's very bright white. Doesn't look to have any like specific pattern on it. I wonder if that's just debris of some sort.
Yeah, so Mike Vecchione is asking whether it might be plastic, and that is as good a guess as anything else right now. I don't think this seems...
Although part of it looks a little bit glassy.
Yeah, I really don't know.
I don't know. Perhaps a bit of that deep sea pottery.
Yeah. Let's
there's another bit there.
Ooh, and then do we want to try that brown rock that's just above it? Is that what you were pointing at, Thomas, too? Yeah. All right, we'll take a look at this this white shard. Not a clue.
Yeah, no.
But Pilot, if you are able, the dark rock that was sort of up and to the right. Thomas nearly fell out of his seat looking at it.
When you have a good feeling about a rock, you just know.
You just know.
That dark one there?
Yeah, I think that's what we're all angling for. Okay. So we are again going to try to sample a rock. We're going to hope it's sampleable. So the ROV pilot was just telling us that the vehicle is very light today, and if we grab some rocks, it would actually be very, very helpful. I think this might be the first time that anyone has ever said, let's grab more rocks. So this is very exciting. We are trying right now. All right, maybe we'll give up very soon.
When a rock is not a rock.
I mean,
Deb.
There's probably a sedimentary geologist out there somewhere who would be very excited by these clay rocks. But it's so hard to take home with us that...
Yeah.
And so as soon as we have a chance to let the sediment blow over, we'll keep looking around here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just keep examining the seafloor. Oh, that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah.
Pilot, were you on OKEX at that time by any chance? Okay, so we will relay this really great information that we're hearing from the pilot. And so, you know, I had just mentioned a little bit ago that that D2 is buoyant today and that they actually would like to take some rocks so we can weigh ourselves down a little bit. But that's not because it's any lighter than it is on any other dive. It's just that the water density is...
Here, it's a little bit higher.
Yep, it's a little bit higher.
And so it gets the vehicle a little bit more buoyant than usual at this depth.
Fascinating.
That's really interesting, yeah.
I think everybody knows what a buoyant day feels like.
I feel quite buoyant today. We're diving in an area that none of us have ever been to, and
And
very
that
few
is-
people have ever been
actually,
to.
as far as we are aware, there haven't been any ROV dives in this area. That's not to say of course, there have been other ROV dives in the Puerto Rico Trench as a whole, and a lot of other expeditions have taken place here, but not in this particular feature here of the Puerto Rico Trench.
And there aren't all that many ROVs that are
Exactly.
the depth of the Puerto Rico Trench. All right.
So the trench itself was discovered during the Challenger expedition, so nearly 150 years ago. And since then, it has really inspired a lot of research and exploration work in the area. There's been a lot of many expeditions, both by the American scientists, French scientists, Germans, in this area. Most of it has been using either towed camera systems and also collecting using, for instance, dredges,
Right.
which is also very challenging at these depths.
I can't even imagine.
But so there has been quite an extensive exploration work done in the Puerto Rico Trench.
So we're still looking at these little white pieces on the
Yeah,
seafloor?
there's a number of these just spread out. Oh, and there's a stalk there. Can we have a quick zoom on that stalk to the
top left?
top left of that? Could that be? It is one of our first. It's our first carnivorous sponge.
I love the way your voice goes when you go carnivorous
It just
sponge.
changed.
Do you want to try to
Yeah,
collect
if
this,
we
can?
could, if we could collect this, it would be brilliant. I guess that's probably, it's very tiny. Would it be very challenging with a slurp?
Oh, what's that little pink thing to the bottom right? Is
I
that
think
more
that's
sargassum?
I think that's sargassum.
Oh, man. So there's actually several things growing on these rocks right here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what those other bushy things are. So we will be collecting this. And so carnivorous sponges are a very interesting group of sponges. They are within the family Cladorhizidae. And unlike other sponges that filter the water to obtain all the oxygen and nutrients that they need to live, carnivorous sponges have developed this adaptation to a carnivorous lifestyle. And so they have these, as you've seen, like there's a central stalk and then there's all of these long filaments to the side of it. And those filaments are covered with a particular type of spicule that function a little bit like a Velcro. So small crustaceans that come in contact with these filaments just become entangled. And then what the sponge does is actually that it just migrates cells to enclose this prey and just digest it. It's a really cool adaptation to what we think is to the food-poor environments. So they're mostly found in the deep sea or in shallower waters, usually in submerged caves. Oh, it is really tiny, now I realize. And we may have gotten it. It's of course difficult to say because it was so small, but No, it's probably, it's probably.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, pilot. Brilliant catch. Oh, is it stuck there? It doesn't actually. No, it doesn't.
That's the string.
No, it doesn't look like it. No.
Right. So as we're looking at the slurp, there's a string that shows that the suction's actually on, and I think that's the string.
Yeah. But just got very sticky.
Do you think we should try to sample whatever the weird white thing is and see what it is?
Oh, you mean the what
shiny,
we're finding? Yeah.
If it's possible.
Should we
What
find
it
out?
is. I don't know. I'm not sure it's worth the waste of a sample. Not wasting a sample, but we don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem like it would be organic. There is some question in the chat room about whether it's methane, but I would be very surprised.
I think it's probably better not to collect that, because we would, if we have the opportunity to collect then more samples, we will not have that bio box anymore, or that slurp chamber.
Right. Sorry, pilot, we're messing up your beautiful ROV.
Oh, look, again, this...
I don't know what that was.
This pelagic... what?
Yes, I know that.
Sorry.
So
okay,
pilot,
that was a pelagic...
pilot, can you tell me how high off the bottom we're going?
Polykit.
So for those of you who have been following along at home, we are at an incredibly deep depth. We're at 5,947 meters. We do have to pull off the bottom for just hopefully a short period of time to deal with a small issue with the winch. So Ken had a really interesting point in the chat room that if we do find some really hard rocks, they may have been dumped as ballast from ships that were going between Cuba, Key West, and Puerto Rico. And so that'd be really interesting. It would be very, not surprising if they were dumping rocks as ballast in earlier days. So meanwhile, we've had no luck actually finding a rock that was a rock, so... Mm-hmm. Yep. We're listening. So we are hanging out about 50 meters above the bottom right now, and the idea is to deal with one problem with the winch, but we are also having the sargassum issues that we had on our earlier dives around Puerto Rico, and so there's a little bit that we need to take care of in this hopefully short period of time coming up. So now's a great time to go grab yourself a glass of water, maybe a cookie.
All right, folks. As has been the issue on several dives in the past, we have while combating winch engineering challenges, we have also pulled too much sargassum into the ship's intakes, and so we cannot continue this dive. We apologize. These are the conditions that we deal with as they come to us. We have tried to dive several times, if you've followed us the past few days, and run into this problem. And this is an environmental issue that is a bit beyond our control. But we do want to recognize the hard work that the engineering team on the ship puts in to keep those strainers clear when possible, to allow us to dive when we can. And it's unfortunate that we got all the way down. But we did get some amazing footage and a couple of samples that we are excited to take a look at when they get back on board. So we appreciate you joining us, and we look for a hopeful dive tomorrow, again, if we don't have the same sargassum problems. So thanks for tuning in. And
thank you all. This was a short dive, but it was surely well worth dive, because we got to see at least some of the life that lives here in this main ridge in the Puerto Rico Trench, and we got at least 2 really nice samples, one anemone and one carnivorous sponge, and some water for eDNA analysis.
No rocks, though, unfortunately.
No,
not a lot.
There were no rocks.
I don't think there were any rocks down there. It was just squishy
sediment. But did
rock
you see
appearing things.
It had structures, though.
It really
like you
did.
could really see structures, which I don't normally associate with the clay. So it was just fascinating. But when they kind of crunched that last one and you could see the layers of that very dense clay, that was quite fascinating.
Really cool. Yeah. I'm excited to take a look at that footage later.
Yeah. Well, we at least made it down to 6,000 meters, which is always very cool. Even if we had to come back fairly soon, we still got some great observations of the seafloor.
We got roughly 1 hour of dive time.
Yep.
So thank you all for joining us on this short dive in the Puerto Rico Trench at 6,000 meters depth.
Yep. And thank you to our ROV pilots, to our video engineers and clippers, and to everybody on the ship who continues to make this a safe and healthy expedition.
the stream will stay up for recovery. So if you'd like several hours of peaceful
Blue water
imagery, feel free to stay tuned in if you need just a good relaxing moment.
And Thomas, tell us a little about how the audio is split on camera 1.
So on the Okeanos Explorer on our website for our live streams, there is an option to listen to the science conversation, which is typically the back row here, the science leads, and then there's a toggle switch that gives you the operations side of the ROV pilots, the navigator, and the co-pilot, and you can toggle between those two or listen to, I believe, both of them at the same time is one of the new features that we've added. So if you'd like to hear, listen to, and enjoy the operational side of ROV recovery, you can swap over to that audio. There will be some chatter on that if you again need that background noise.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Speaking of audio, I just want you to know that I have been here with you. I just had nothing to say, and I'm sad that there won't be anything to say, but hopefully tomorrow. Good luck, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, so the reason I was asking Thomas about talking about the two audio channels is you could either enjoy the soothing blue deep ocean with music of your choice, or you could actually listen to the ROV team as they bring the ROV back up, which is always very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, and look at this view. It's beautiful. It's like looking at the stars.
It is.
Only we're looking at marine snow.
I painted my bedroom about that color. All I wanted was one room in my house that was about that color.
It's beautiful.
All right. Well, it was great while it lasted.
Yeah.
And we should be diving again
And we
tomorrow.
made it to 6,000 meters.
I know, which is so cool.
It's been my deepest dive. I don't know if it was yours, Deb. But
oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I'm still very excited about it.
I think we may have done one that was very close in the Marianas Trench when I was out in 2016, but I'd have to go back and look. And that was another Okeanos Explorer expedition that was to the Mariana Trench and the areas around there.
No sargassum there?
I do not remember any sargassum being there.
And tomorrow's dive will be on the edge of the trench. So
fingers crossed.
The trench wall. Yes.
So fingers crossed.
Good
for
environmental
tomorrow.
comparison. Yep.
So join us tomorrow for our last dive of this EX2206 of the voyage to the ridge. Thank you all.